Dizzy Dreamer ASMR. Hello. My name is Dizzy Dreamer ASMR. Welcome back to my ASMR YouTube channel, my little corner of the internet. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Survivor Series WarGames that happened this past weekend. I didn't have time to do a predictions video just because I've been so busy. I recently accepted a second job and life's just been super duper busy. So I thought that I'd do a review of the pay-per-view instead. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to do this every once in a while as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first match was the women's WarGame match, where Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Naomi, and Io Sky defeated Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. So I think that the last 10 minutes of this match were the most entertaining. Before everyone was in the ring, I found the pacing to be off, to be honest, and there were some instances where it was really obvious that they were really just trying to fill the time gaps in between competitors entering the ring. So like the 30 minutes of waiting for everyone to be in the ring is kind of excessive in my opinion, and that's not really like blaming the wrestlers, it's just the general layout or happenings of war games, and it's probably me being impatient and knowing that nobody can actually win until everybody's in the ring. So let me know if you guys feel the same, that it's a little frustrating having to wait that long. But other than that, Liv Morgan bringing the baseball bat inside the ring was awesome, and then all the girls ganging up on Rhea Ripley was crazy, and Liv Morgan assaulting her with the baseball bat over and over and over looked so painful. I was like physically cringing, and her team, like I was yelling for her team to come help her, but they were all basically knocked out on the other side of the cage. And also, we'll just take a second here to appreciate how good Rhea Ripley looked. She looked so good, like her face mask, her whole look was so good. She looked amazing. And the makeup too, like just chef's kiss. Tiffany Stratton teasing her Money in the Bank briefcase kinda pissed me off. I was like, when is she cashing it in? Because at this point, this is like the fourth time that she's teased it. It would have been a perfect opportunity for her to pin both Liv and Nia and get their belts. That would have been insane. Also, Raquel Rodriguez ruining the potential cash-in was so annoying. I could tell the crowd already doesn't like her, and that might have made it worse, in my opinion. And then Io Sky. I think Io Sky was the highlight of this match in many ways. She was fantastic with the fire extinguisher breaking up the fight between Raquel and Tiffany, but also her jumping off the cage in a trash can for, I think this was the second year in a row, I think. So if you haven't seen that clip, it's all over social media right now. Go check it out, it's crazy. Overall, it was a really entertaining match, and the only thing that could have made it better would be replacing Candice LeRae with Chelsea Green. The second match of the night was Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight for the United States Championship, and Shinsuke Nakamura defeated LA Knight to become the new United States Champion. This was a solid match. Nothing really to write home about or anything. I unfortunately have not been following this feud too closely. I've been finding it hard to find time to watch WWE just because of what I've mentioned earlier with my jobs and how busy I've been, but as we know, I consider LA Knight to be one of my favorite current roster wrestlers, and also this also means that LA Knight might have the opportunity to go for a bigger belt, maybe even a main event belt. Question mark, question mark. Whatever it is, I'm happy that he's been given the chance to perform the way he's been performing for the past 2 years under the new management, or year, or however long it's been. You know, he's been really able to flourish, and it's been really fun watching him becoming increasingly more popular. Also, both of these men have fantastic entrances, so yeah. The third match of the night was the Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat match, where Braun Breaker defeated Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser to retain the Intercontinental Championship. This was a very good match. It was really entertaining. These men put on a great show, and I always love to watch triple threat matches, especially when it comes to the Intercontinental Championship, because I think back to WrestleMania 39 and watching Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Gunther, and how incredible that match was. That was a fantastic match. Anyways, I digress. This was a no disqualifications match, but they didn't rely too heavily on weapons, which I thought was pretty smart, and they kept us entertained without having to use like copious amounts of chairs and tables and everything. So I thought that was pretty smart on their end. There was one point in the match where Sheamus and Breaker both teamed up on Ludwig Kaiser, and you know, they started beating on him, and then Breaker was like, wait, and then he turned on Sheamus. And Braun Breaker was just like absolutely psycho in this match. This man is absolutely cracked. He brought so much energy, and he always does. He has so much energy in the ring. He's an amazing wrestler. Him suplexing, I think it was a superplex. I think so. Suplexing Ludwig into the ground outside of the ring genuinely looked so painful. Oh my god. There was also a point in the match where Sheamus was about to win, and then Ludwig pulled the ref out of the ring. That was pretty priceless. I could have seen different storylines for each participant winning this match. You know, like if Ludwig won, it would have made for an interesting dynamic between him and Gunther. But I think Braun Breaker winning with his spear was a great end to a really entertaining match. The second last match of the night was the World Heavyweight Championship match, where Gunther defeated Damian Priest to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. This match, honestly, I don't have too many notes. It was pretty meh. I like both of these wrestlers, but the pacing was pretty slow. It was pretty slow, and I didn't, it didn't seem very exciting, especially because of how exciting the match was that came before it, you know, the triple threat. And honestly, even the crowd, I feel like the crowd felt the same. The crowd seemed to be bored with it. They were okay. Like, I was expecting a lot more from them. It just wasn't a good match, but it wasn't a bad match, but it was an okay match, I guess. Just a little to say. I can say that Damian Priest is really good at selling, because he genuinely looked hurt, and I totally believed him. What was it? Was it his leg, or was it his shoulder? I think it was his shoulder that he was favoring. You know, it made me a little bit worried for him. The match did pick up near the end, but Finn Balor running an interference on the match and costing Priest the title, basically, was quite predictable, to be honest. I saw it coming a mile away. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this one. The final match of the night was the men's WarGame match, where Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn, or Sami Uso, defeated Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonka Loa, seriously as a threat compared to where he was, I'd say maybe a year ago. And I enjoy watching him wrestle. When he was going to Tsunami Roman through the table, I was bracing myself, like physically bracing myself, because I was like, this man is going to die. And then CM Punk saved him literally at the last second. Seriously, talk about perfect timing. And then Reed went through the table by himself, and everybody that I was watching this with, we all audibly groaned. We were like, oh my god. But as far as the rest of the match goes, I think that Jacob Fatu stole the show. I was actually more excited to see what he was doing in the ring over, Roman Reigns or CM Punk even. He's an absolute beast, and I love his whole I love you solo gimmick. I love you solo. It's so good. He's really an intimidating wrestler, as you can see from his picture here. And from what I've heard, he's also like a very renowned or like acclaimed wrestler. And him no-selling things is so good. When he eventually turns on solo, it's going to be the best thing ever. So the ending where everyone was hitting their finisher on solo was so cool because it reminded me of how you have to hit the final boss in a video game. No pun intended about the final boss, but how you have to hit a final boss in a video game like 3 times before he dies. And then Roman Reigns speared Solo and pinned him to win the match, which was the best booking decision, I think, because it maintains Roman's status at the top of the company, or at the head of the table, if you will. Overall, I'm really excited to see where things go from here. What will CM Punk and Roman Reigns do now? What will Solo do? What will his cronies turn on him? Also, I'm looking forward to finding out what the favor CM Punk is going to ask Paul Heyman for. So, there are many things to look forward to out of this match. So that's it, everybody. I just wanted to thank you all for watching, for liking, subscribing, and commenting. Your support really means the world to me. I really appreciate it. We are so close to 500 subscribers. Hopefully we can get there soon. But for now, let me know your thoughts about Survivor Series WarGames. Did you predict who was going to win? And let me know if you liked it. If you thought it was a good pay-per-view. Other than that, I hope you have a great night